I didn't know I was his second choice at first. Love has a way of hiding the truth. It softens the sharp edges. It covers warning signs with hope. And when you want something to be real, you learn how to look away. Back then, I believed love was supposed to feel quiet and safe. And in the beginning, it did. That is why I stayed. I didn't know this story would change me. I only knew that I didn't want to lose what I thought we had. We didn't fall in love in a dramatic way. There were no big promises or loud words. It was small things. Good morning messages that made me smile before my day even started. Long walks where we talked about nothing important. But it felt important because it was us. Moments of silence that didn't feel empty. For the first time in a long while, I felt seen. Not admired, not chased, just noticed. He listened when I spoke. He remembered little details. My favorite song. The way I drank my coffee. The things that made me nervous. I told myself, this is what being chosen feels like. I felt lucky. Almost afraid to feel lucky. There was a quiet voice inside me that said, don't ask for too much. Don't ruin this. I had learned that love could disappear if you held it too tightly. So I smiled. I waited. I trusted. The change didn't come suddenly. It arrived slowly, like a shadow at the edge of the room. Plans started to cancel. Something came up. Maybe another day. Another day came, and so did another excuse. He was still there, but not fully. His phone was always close. His mind often far away. When I asked how he was, his answers became shorter. When I asked about the future, he changed the subject. So I changed too. I told myself love means patience. Love means understanding. Love means not asking questions that make someone uncomfortable. I lowered my expectations without realizing I was lowering myself. I stopped asking why. I stopped saying how I felt. I stopped being honest because honesty felt risky. I thought this was maturity. I didn't know it was self-abandonment. There was no announcement. No confession. Just a name. It appeared in stories that didn't need names. In conversations where her presence felt unnecessary. Sometimes he smiled differently when he spoke about her. Sometimes his silence lasted too long after. I didn't ask who she was. I didn't want to sound insecure, but something inside me tightened every time her name came up. I felt like I was standing in a race I never agreed to run. I didn't hate her. I didn't blame her. I was confused. Confused about how love could feel warm one moment and distant the next. Confused about why. I felt like I needed to earn a place that was already supposed to be mine. Hope told me I was overthinking. Fear told me I was not. The truth didn't arrive with shouting or tears. It arrived quietly. One evening, after another canceled plan, I asked a simple question, not angry. Just tired. Is there someone else? He didn't answer right away. That silence was the answer. He said he wasn't sure. He said he still had feelings. He said he didn't want to hurt anyone. I nodded, like I understood. Inside, something collapsed. I wasn't betrayed loudly. I was replaced quietly. I felt shock first. Then numbness. Then shame. Not because he had feelings for someone else, but because I had been waiting. While he was deciding, I realized I wasn't standing beside him. I was standing behind him. I stayed longer than I should have. Not because I didn't know the truth, but because I hoped it would change. I waited for him to choose me. I waited for certainty. I waited for proof that I was enough. And while I waited, I became smaller. I didn't know then that this was the lowest point of my story. I only knew that loving him was slowly erasing me. And I didn't yet understand that sometimes. The most painful endings are not loud. They are quiet. They happen while you are still hoping. After the truth came out, my life didn't explode. It became quiet. Not peaceful, quiet. More like the quiet after a door closes and you realize you are alone on the other side. At night, I lay in bed with my phone face down, like it could hurt me just by lighting up. I replayed everything again and again, the first messages, the walks, the smiles, the moments that felt real. I tried to find the exact point where love changed into waiting. But memories don't give you answers. They only give you echoes. Some nights I felt angry. Other nights I felt empty. And sometimes I felt nothing at all, which scared me the most, because it felt like my heart was trying to protect itself by becoming stone. I told myself I should move on. I told myself to be strong. But strength didn't come as a loud decision. It came as a small voice I had ignored for too long. One night, I looked at my reflection in the dark window. I barely recognized the girl staring back. Her eyes were tired. Her shoulders looked heavy. She looked like someone who had been holding her breath for months. And suddenly, I understood something painful and simple. I missed him, but I missed myself more. That thought didn't fix everything, but it broke the silence inside me. The next morning, I woke up and realized I didn't have to check my phone first. I didn't have to wait for a message that would decide my mood. I didn't have to live like a person standing outside her own life, hoping someone would open the door. I sat on the edge of my bed and listened to the quiet. It felt strange, like walking into an empty room you used to share with someone. But in that emptiness, I heard something new. My own feelings, my own needs, my own truth. I had been so focused on being chosen that I forgot I had the power to choose too. And once I remembered that, something in me began to wake up. When I decided to leave, it wasn't dramatic. I didn't scream. I didn't beg. I didn't demand explanations. I just got tired of being half-loved. We met in a simple place, during a simple hour of the day. The world kept moving around us like nothing was happening. People laughed nearby. Cars passed. The sky looked normal. That made it hurt more, because the biggest changes in life often happen while everything else stays the same. He spoke first. He said he was confused. He said he didn't want to lose me. He said he needed time. I listened quietly. And then I said the words I had been afraid to say. I can't be your maybe. My voice didn't shake. Not because I was strong, but because I was finally honest. He looked surprised, like he expected me to keep waiting. Like he expected me to accept being second, because I always had. But something had changed. I wasn't angry. I wasn't cruel. I was finished. Walking away didn't feel like winning. It felt like learning how to stop bleeding. I stood up. I wished him well, in the calmest voice I could find. Then I left. And I didn't look back. Not because I didn't love him, but because I loved myself enough to stop running in circles. Healing was not a sudden glow. It was slow, quiet, sometimes ugly. Some mornings I woke up and reached for my phone without thinking. Then I remembered. And my chest felt tight again. Other mornings, I made coffee and noticed how the sunlight touched the table. I noticed how peaceful the air felt when I wasn't waiting for someone's attention. I started doing small things for myself. Not to prove anything, just to come back to my own life. I cleaned my room like I was clearing space inside my heart. I took walks without music, just listening to my footsteps. I wrote down my feelings even when the words didn't look beautiful. And slowly, the ache began to change. It didn't disappear, but it softened like a bruise fading over time. I learned to say no. No to late-night messages that felt like crumbs. No to "I miss you" when it didn't come with respect. No to the version of love that made me feel small. I learned something important. Boundaries are not walls. They are doors. They let the right people in, and they keep you safe from the wrong ones. For the first time, I wasn't trying to be easy to love. I was learning to be real. And in that realness, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Peace. Time passed. Not in a straight line, but it passed. And then, one day, his name appeared on my screen. My stomach turned. Like my body remembered the old story even before my mind could speak. His message was simple: an apology, regret, the words I once prayed to hear. He said he made a mistake. He said he didn't see my value until he lost me. He said he wanted another chance. I stared at the screen for a long time. A part of me wanted to run back. That part was familiar. That part remembered the good moments and tried to forget the pain. But another part of me, quiet, steady, knew, asked one question. If I go back, will I lose myself again? I didn't feel revenge. I didn't feel the need to punish him. I just felt clear. I wrote back with a calm heart. I forgive you. But I can't return to a place where I felt invisible. He finally chose me. But I had already chosen myself. When I pressed send, I didn't feel proud like a movie hero. I felt free. For a long time, I thought I was second choice. I carried that label like a shadow, like it was proof that I wasn't enough. But now I see it differently. I wasn't second. I was simply in the wrong place, asking the wrong person to see my worth. Sometimes, people don't choose you not because you are lacking, but because they are lost. And you can't fix someone by shrinking yourself. You can love deeply and still walk away. You can forgive and still protect your heart. You can miss someone and still choose peace. If you are listening to my story and you feel like you are waiting to be chosen, I want you to hear this gently. You don't need to audition for love. Love is not a prize for being patient enough. You are not too much for wanting respect. You are not weak for wanting certainty. And you are not wrong for needing to feel safe. Being chosen is beautiful, but choosing yourself is life-changing. My story didn't end when he didn't choose me. It began when I did. And now, when I look in the mirror, I recognize the person staring back. Not because she is perfect, but because she is hers again. And that is the kind of ending that doesn't fade. It becomes a beginning.